I just, I remember his record collection being so vast and so varied. Like, we saw David Bowie and Pink Floyd, and we saw the Rolling Stones next to the Four Tops, next to Michael Jackson, next to the Isley Brothers, and next to, not DeBarge. I mean, he was in there too, but gosh, what is the group I'm missing it? I wanna be closer to you, baby. I forgot. But there was a DeBarge in that group. Hey, what's going on, y'all? I hope life is good. And if it ain't, I hope it gets better. And hey, maybe this podcast will play a part in making that happen. So sit back, listen, hang a bit, laugh with me, laugh at me. All that matters is you're here. This podcast starts right now. Enjoy. Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Blaze. I'm just somebody's dad, figuring it out. It's the name of this podcast. And I appreciate you taking a moment to listen in, to watch if you're checking this out on YouTube. And ultimately, my goal is to make this worth your while. You could have been doing anything right now. And yet, here you are. You're listening to me ramble on about things and such and stuff like that. So, while you're here, let's talk. But first, let me get something straight right out the gate. I'm going to be general on most things. I'm going to be specific on a few. But regardless of what I say, I ain't no guru, boo-boo. So, you help me and I help you. And at the end of the day, if we're a little bit better versions of ourselves, which I believe we can be, we're going to call that a W. Y'all, I had an opportunity to cut my dad's hair today. And I don't know why that makes me a bit emotional, right? Like, I've cut my dad's hair before, but for whatever reason, the drive back from Durham to Wake Forest, maybe 40 minutes, 45 minutes, if it's a little bit longer, I was just a little bit emotional. Now, I can't even tell you that it was one emotion. It was a multitude, right? And for some of you guys, you're hearing me talk and you're like, I know exactly how you feel. I don't even know how I'm feeling right now, but I'm feeling a multitude of things. I think what would help in terms of understanding why the heck I'm feeling all these feels is just to give you an idea about kind of where my dad's at and who he has been to me and all that stuff. And we'll start at the beginning. He gave me life. My mom brought me into this world, but y'all understand how children are made. You know what it is. My earliest memories of my dad are picking me up when I'm really, really little. And I'm not talking about like I had memories from when I was, 18 months old. I'm not saying that, but I just remember dad picking me up. And I remember dad always humming. I think about who he was in terms of a father, right? He had two boys, me and my younger brother. And I feel like he did his best to parent us equally when we probably needed a lot of different things. And later on, I think he figured out, yeah, y'all are very different people. You need very different things. But I do think there was a massive attempt to instill some really good stuff in us. And I think most parents do their very best to put good into the kids, even if they didn't get a ton of good into them. And in my dad's case, he got plenty of good stuff. He had great examples of my Uncle Wallace, rest in peace, from, my Uncle Ike, from my Aunt Sandra, because my dad's the baby of those four, for my grandma, my granddad. And, my dad can be a little bit of a hothead sometimes, meaning it's not necessarily that his hot is really hot. It's just he gets there so quick. 0 to 55, quick. 55 ain't really all that hot, but it's 0 to 55 in 0.5 seconds. Too quick. Whereas the come down is just as quick, which can often leave folks somewhat annoyed because that's a quick transition of emotions. And I don't know, I've just figured out how to ride that wave in a way that maybe some other folks haven't, or other folks know how, they just don't want to, and they're not going to. So that's why my brother and my dad butt heads, because my dad be on one sometimes, and My brother's like, I'm not finna be on one with you. Like, we're not gonna do that. But I know that my dad, as a father, was at as many of our games as possible. I can recall, and some of you guys who are listening to this who maybe played soccer with me or basketball with me or track or anything like that at Northern High School, shout out Knights. Yeah, my dad was there yelling at me, not at the refs, at me. A blazer, run! What are you doing? Run! Get the ball, go down sideline, the whole sideline open. Like, I remember some of these things, right? And the thing is, there were moments where I was like, oh, Dad, all right. But then again, there were kids whose dad never saw them play a day in their life. So I'm thankful for that. Because it's not like he just was laying around all day and then came to the game. He worked a full day and then came to the game. So I as a father now, I appreciate him in ways that I did not think I would, or maybe I couldn't until I became somebody's dad. My dad is also a creative guy. Like, he loves photography. He loves to just go out and be in nature. He loves to think. Math was nothing to him. Like, math was too easy. I'm talking high level math. Too easy. Like, my dad went to the Navy because he got into Carolina and got bored and decided to go dig ditches for a little bit, and, you know, would meet bands and travel with them a little bit, would hitchhike places, and just said, okay, we'll go to the Navy. Like, the Navy was just like this thing to do. All right, cool. I ain't got nothing else to do. But it was like, it's just, my dad is interesting, right? And he's got stories, and he's got stories from the Navy, some of which he can't tell me, some he's told me, and maybe he wasn't supposed to. I don't know. But he's he's just he is, in my opinion, from my perspective, because I've got a lived experience with him that maybe I don't, other folks don't. He's just a chill guy with a lot on his mind, a lot to say, who don't say much. Now, you get him talking about sports, you get him talking about some politics, so he gonna talk. Ask him to tell you a story about the Navy. He's gonna talk, and he's gonna start mentioning people in this story that you don't have a full background of, so you don't know why this person is doing what he's doing or who he is in terms of relationship to this other person. You just got to go along with the story and hope that some context clues help you to connect folks, because otherwise, you just on a journey that he's taking you through, and you hope you make it to the other side. But that's Dad. And one of the things about Dad that I've never liked, but I've come to understand, is a smoking habit. Now, some of y'all smoke, and I'm not trying to shame you. That ain't helping nobody. There is now, therefore, no condemnation in the book I read. Okay? So how am I going to condemn somebody? But I remember even at a young age being like, Dad, you got to stop smoking. Now, I've had to deal with some vices myself. So the idea that I, as a little kid, believed my dad could snap his fingers and be rid of something that he started when he was a teenager, a little naive, but that's what little kids are. I'm not so naive these days. And he's been smoking for a long time. And for the longest time, I don't think smoking was having the effect that it probably should have, given the amount that he smoked. And I think it caught up to him. And now my dad is not in the best health. The cool thing is, and I say cool not to make light of him not being in good health. The cool thing is, the solution to flipping that is really simple. And it's the one thing that has probably been the hardest thing: stop smoking. Like, everything that's going on with him directly connected to smoking. And there's a frustration I have because I'm like, Dad, this one thing, just one thing, get rid of that. And literally, your body is going to come back to life. You're going to be able to breathe better. You're going to have more mobility. All these things, your muscle strength is going to come back because the smoking is actually choking out the circulation in your body. Like, it's all connected to smoking, and yet it's the one thing that I think has a hold on him. Not so much the smoking itself, but maybe how he sees himself because he looks in the mirror and doesn't like what he sees. I love him. But if he don't love himself, all the love in the world for me ain't gonna make him make the necessary changes because they're gonna suck. It's gonna be it's I've gone with no sugar for the past what 5 days, 6 days. But if it was rough for me with sugar for 5 days, and sugar has not been one of them things where I've had to have it at all times, it would be difficult for dad to just stop smoking. So I get it. Still want him to quit, but I get it. And because his health has taken a bit of a decline, there are some things that, when I come over, he'll ask me to do. Maybe go get that, take care of that. Mom will ask me to take care of that, take care of that. And one of those things is he'll say, hey, can you cut my hair, trim my beard? Now, let me tell you right now, I am no barber. I am not the person you want with clippers in my hand to give you a fade, a high and tight, a trim, a lineup. When I tell you your hairline will look like a Nabisco symbol, it will be off. Dad says, cut my hair. So I do it. And today, when I did it, I'm cutting it. And it's now something that I'm comfortable doing because I'm not scared I'm going to nick him or anything. And I'm not scared I'm going to push too hard. Like I've got a feel for it. And I'm doing all the things the barbers do. I'm holding the ear down. I'm cutting behind there. I found myself flicking my wrist as though I'm giving him a fade, which I absolutely didn't because I attempted it and my line was so off. I was like, nah, I'm good. He wanted it cut off the whole way, so I figured I'd at least try it. I mean, because I got to cut it all off anyway. He trusts me to do it. And I do it because here's what I know. Barring a decision backed by commitment and some resilience, because it would be tough, for my dad to stop smoking and begin to move around more and change some of those habits, I don't know how much time I've got with him. Now, that may sound morbid. It's not, just life. It's kind of how it is. And it sucked to think about, but I gotta know it. I gotta just kind of mentally get myself there. Because here's the cool thing. Dad tomorrow could be like, I'm done with this. And I pray and speak. I've got affirmations specifically about him. And here's what I know. God changed some things in the lowest part of my life. And some things were actually other people. Now, you could argue maybe he changed me so that the things that those other people were doing did not affect me. But here's what I know. I can't change someone else's heart. God can do that. Or they can decide to do that. But I have no control over it. And yet there were some hearts that were changed. And I promise you, I never thought they would be. But what I think and what I say ain't got to be the same thing. And so I speak over my dad all the time. But because there is a possibility that he won't be with us beyond a certain time, just given health, I cherish these moments, man. There is something about laughing with your dad, leaving his hair a certain way because you maybe cut it a little bit, and now there's a little puff of hair up top, and looking at your mom like, Mom, should we just leave it like this? And dad be like, no. Did he go from 0 to 30, 35, 40? Yeah, he did. But I was joking, and I know how to handle that rise and fall. So it was a big joke. There's something about just having conversations with my dad about any and everything that let me know that the time that I spend cutting his hair ain't wasted. It's good time. It's quality time. That the time that me and my dad talk about soccer, there's quality time. Yeah, we might be talking about how ridiculous the organization of Manchester United is, or we might be talking about how handcuffed Aston Villa is financially because of PSR and SCR, and how Man City and all these other clubs, Liverpool and Chelsea, got to spend a bunch of money, and oh my goodness, well, but they've got so much revenue. Yeah, well, they were able to build revenue because they were able to build things because they were able to pump money into their club with no restriction. Chelsea, if I ever hear anybody from Chelsea say anything ridiculous about Aston Villa and the way that we've had to maneuver PSR, I promise you I'm going to hit you with all the nonsense that you are asking for. Because if we'd have had the rules that we have now with PSR, ain't no way Abramovich could have done what he did. How you going to sack a manager after they win something and be like, nah, I'm cool. We just bring another one in? What? Nah, because you got a bunch of money and nobody's telling you you can't put that money in. Yeah, that ain't what they're doing for Villa. I digress. I digress. And Newcastle. I digress. It's all right. I'm gonna move on. And Nottingham Forest. It's all right. I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna move on. But we get to talk about that stuff, me and my dad, and we get to argue about it and voice our points. And here's what I've learned. I've learned that quality time is far greater than quantity. I am learning this with my wife. Me and my wife have time where we might get 10 minutes, but my phone is down. Like the sound is off on her phone, so she may be getting text messages, but she's not hearing the ding or the sound effect of the notification. And we just get to talk. We just get to chill. We just get to hang out. And it's 10 minutes, guys, but it's quality. Me and my dad get to spend 30, 45 minutes together because anyone, he wants to go lay down and all that stuff. And I completely get it. That's 30, 45 minutes of quality time. Quality. I think that people undervalue how much you can impact somebody and be impacted in a small amount of concentrated time versus long amounts of lackadaisical, unintentional time. Lackadaisical? I don't know what that word is, but y'all know what I'm talking about. It's kind of like if I'm making the most of 10 minutes versus letting 25, 30, 45, an hour, 2 hours just kind of do what it wants to, I'll take that 10 minutes of focused time because I'm going to get more out of it. I also learned that we have a finite amount of time on this earth, so god dang it, we ain't got time to not be saying what we need to say, to not be going to where we need to go, to not be living life. My dad, seeing his mortality, I'm certain has had an impact on him, but it's had an impact on me. Because my dad's almost 80. I am I am 40. And I think about the fact that 40 ain't so far from 120, which is how long I plan to live. And I'm talking like up and moving, organs functioning, brain still intact, mind sharp. That's how I plan to live 120 years. And then I'm just going to go to sleep and be like, I'll holler at y'all. Bye. The end is coming. That's inevitable. We ain't got no choice about it. We don't even know when it's coming. We can assume it's going to come after a long time, but it might not. Dang it, that just makes the now so much more valuable. The other thing I've learned by hanging out with my dad and getting a chance to cut his hair is small gestures go a long way. I'm just cutting my dad's hair. I'm not doing any designs. I'm not lining them up. I'm literally buzzing it. It's easy. It's simple. It doesn't take a ton of time, but he's so appreciative of it. And I get to spend some time with him. I get to smile and laugh a little bit. I get to joke around with him, get to hang with him. And I would dare say I'm probably more impacted by it than he is. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm going too deep with it and we're equally impacted or he's more impacted than I am. But that small gesture means a lot to him and that means a lot to me. Small things, small gestures, can add up to a whole lot of love. Yeah, love is words and expression verbally, but love is also the act of doing. I've heard it said by a couple, Chase and Bethany McElroy, and in particular Bethany McElroy, appreciation is an action word. So when you do something for somebody, that shows appreciation, even if it's a small thing. Like when I'm at school and I see trash on the ground, I pick up that piece of trash and toss it. Why? Because I appreciate what the school is doing for me. I'm becoming far more aware of how I've taken this house and everything that my wife does in this house for granted. So now, if I see clothes on the floor, I'm going to put them in a dirty clothes hamper. I don't care if the kids literally just took them off the hanger, put them on for 20 minutes, and then took it off. It's going in the dirty clothes hamper. Why? Because I want the house to be clean. Because what I've realized is that when the house is clean, that woman is in such a different mood. Now, some of you will be like, that should have been common sense to you. No, 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 no. I mean clean for real. And I mean the mood is night and day. And I got to see that before she left for Arizona. We did a big clean of the house. She laid down in the bed more relaxed. She slept better. Anyway, I just think that what my time with my dad today showed me was that something that was really small to me was really big to him. And it made me think about all the small things my dad did for me that were really big for me now that I'm a dad. And I'm certain he knew I wasn't going to understand until I was a dad. Dad, I get it. I get a lot of them. And I'm certain there's a ton of things that I'm not going to understand until I'm a granddad that you fully understand. I'm looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to the next time I get to cut your hair. Hey everybody, that's our show. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in. I'm somebody's dad, just figuring it out. Hopefully you got something from today's episode. Like it, share, subscribe, get involved in the comments, tell a friend to tell a friend. And until next time, smile a little bit more. Take care of yourself, stay safe, and I will see you on the next episode. Meow, meow.